Should you collect Flesh and Blood? That's what we're talking about today on Master Set Madness. As we continue the madness, we continue our search for completing, should I say collecting, a complete master set of Uprising Flesh and Blood just from trying to open booster boxes. So we are not trading, we are not purchasing any cards we need, we are trying to find them all by opening a pack, pulling it out the old-fashioned way, the riskier way, the mad way. So we'll be talking about collecting as I do this today, Flesh and Blood, everything collecting Flesh and Blood, my thoughts on it, whether you should or shouldn't do it, and all that jazz. But before I get too far in that, I'm going to remind everybody who is watching, we are on case number 9 out of 10 that I have in our search. That's a long search. We're trying to complete this whole master set. We've still, unfortunately, got a ways to go. We're starting off here, come on, with another foil majestic that I want to say that's number 5 of that one. Really not good for finishing out our set here. Now anyways, though, what we have, or what we're looking for today, we've got some goals. We still need one more Rainbow Foil Legendary, and that is the Tiger Strike Shuko. So we're looking for that. We would love to see that come out of our case today. We're looking for 2 Cold Foil Legendaries. We're looking for that Shuko and, of course, the Ghostly Touch. I'd be happy if we could pull one of those out of today's case. And we are looking, I think we need, it'd be amazing if we're going to try and hit 10 cases. We'd have to pull 2 Marvels that we need. We are down to 4 left that we have not opened. So for the Marvel rarity, we're still looking for an Ash. We're looking for Invoke Miragai, Ovia, and Nekria. I don't know if I said those right at all. Tell me if I didn't. But yes, we got 3 Invokes we're looking for in that Ash Marvel. And then, of course, as I've said in all of our other videos, we are still looking for the Fabled. So that Fabled is no longer on our bonus list. We're getting over to case number 9. It's time. We need to see that. We need to see both versions. Rainbow, Cold Foil. Let's do it. We need to see one of those Fableds. Come on. Nothing so far except, oh, look at that, guys. Invoke Nekria. That's one of those Marvels I was just talking about. Check that off the list. We are down to 3 Marvels left that we need. Man, wouldn't that be amazing if we actually got all the Marvels here in these 10 cases. Awesome. And beyond those, there's still a couple other big hitters that we need to. We're still looking for a Cold Foil Burn Them All. We are also still looking for some extended art cards. We definitely need that extended art Phoenix form. And honestly, there might be another big Cold Foil or extended art card that I missed looking at the sheet. Because there's just so much in this set to go on. So that's what we're looking for today, guys. We're trying to collect all those. And to start off the whole collecting conversation, I guess, you can see that, raise face, we need that. We need those, lots of those. You can see that even after 8 cases, there are still a lot of things that you need from this. So, if you're the kind of person who likes collecting, and you like opening packs, you know, if that's kind of how you like collecting things, it's not as exciting for you or fun for you to go to the store or your online TCG player and just pick out all the cards you need. They show up at your door and then you have them all. You know, that's probably the faster way of doing it, the easier way of collecting a set. But it doesn't have the same allure as when you open something yourself, right? It's just not the same. So if you're somebody who really, really enjoys opening a lot of packs and a lot of boxes to try and collect a complete set, well, Flesh and Blood's going to hit that, scratch that itch for you. But if that's something that you're not excited about, if that just sounds terrible to you, then maybe this is not the right game. And there are probably some other ones you can find where you can collect a complete set in a shorter let's say time frame, but with less boxes to open. a little bit easier to get. So if you like a little bit of that challenge though, great game for that. Of course, most of us don't just pick collecting something simply for whether it's easy to do or not easy to do. But you got to kind of like what it is you're collecting. So there's so many different aspects of this. I think one of them here is just, I mean, look at these marvels. These are new. They're only in the latest set here for Flesh and Blood, but they are amazing. This one, I don't know how well it's coming on the camera. It's one of the darker ones, so it's probably one of my least favorites as far as marvels go. Not the best example at the moment, but I'm telling you, the rest of the marvels, they're super, super gorgeous. I don't know, they're definitely in the top, up in the top, from my perspective, of cards you can collect from a variety of games. And there's a second one. Yeah, let's look at this. Gorgeous, gorgeous. We already have this for our collection. That's 3 of them. Doesn't have the cool back to look at, but those cards are really good. And of course the foiling, the cold foiling that they have in Flesh and Blood, I think it's done really, really well. I think it just kind of blows out of the water a lot of the other games in the way that they do foiling. I think it's amazing. It's unique. Or it was more unique. Some other people are finding ways to copy it. But I definitely think that's one thing that's just, if you want to collect Flesh and Blood, great. You know, it's got a great bonus for that. Last pack of box 1. Come on, we've got 2 marvels, which is of course good, but not a whole lot else here coming off our list. I did forget to say we need to get a couple of Majestics. We should probably try and pull a couple Majestic foils that we need if we're going to complete this set. Oh, completing a set is difficult. Difficult from just opening boxes. So yeah, for other things with collecting, you know, the cold foils are great, and that's kind of lends to talking about chase cards. So I think the chase cards here in Flesh and Blood are really, I think they've done them well. I think they're interesting. I love how they're all equipment. You know, a lot of people like things like Diablo or different games where you're just searching and searching for that really difficult to get fancy equipment that does some super awesome, you know, thing. And so the chase cards, you know, sometimes chase cards, you know, sometimes they're not really useful or something that you really care about other than the fact that it's a chase card. I'd say a great example of that would be in Neon Dynasty. You got that Sugu, that really neon ink cards that were super, super difficult to pull from collector boxes. That's not what we need. From Magic, where really, you know, the card itself, you don't, there's nothing special about getting it other than the fact, that it's hard to get, right? There's like a million other versions of it, and you know, even the ink, like, it's cool, it looks cool, but I don't know that it's like the most amazing thing to come down in the collecting sphere of cards. And so even with that, it's like, you know, there's still like the hardest one to get is still $1,500 on TCG Player, which I don't know, little ridiculous in my mind. But honestly, I'd much rather have a pile of like the Chase Cold Foils or Fabled cards here from Flesh and Blood than I would that card. In my mind, the big allure is that it's rare. It's rare and hard to get. But here it feels like you get both that rare feeling. Of course, not quite as much. Another one we've got duplicates of. At least it is the most beautiful one. Gosh, that's beautiful. Like collectors, I don't know, my mind, that's the kind of card where it's like, give me 50, 100, 250 of those. Beautiful foil card to have thaw there. Just try and get as many of them as you can. Not worth a lot, but fun to have a whole binder of them. But yeah, like I was saying, like I don't know, just the way the cold foils look and the equipment, like the feel of them, and then collecting, you know, eventually here, You collect all of the cold foil equipment for a certain character. Like those chase cards, they just feel more interesting to get. And they feel like they've got a few more, you know, collectible pieces to them other than just they're valuable and they're hard to get. So in my mind, I think that really puts collecting Flesh and Blood up, makes it exciting. Now, of course, just because they're valuable now, I wouldn't necessarily say that I would collect it or Flesh and Blood in general with the goal that you're going to make a lot of money down the road. Of course, that could happen. Definitely could happen. But, oh yes, come on guys. Tiger Stripe, Shuko, Rainbow Foil. That was the last Rainbow Foil Legendary we needed. And look at that, guys. Is that not a gorgeous card? Is that not a gorgeous card? It's one of those chase cards I was just talking about. And that looks good. It does look good. Try to move that around on the screen. Like, I don't know. In my mind, gosh, just chase cards like that. Oh, look at that same pack. Also a cold foil. Unfortunately, it's just a common. But you can see the foiling on that. You know, don't worry about the fact that this one isn't worth a ton of money. But it looks really good. That art looks really good. The cold foiling just makes things pop on those. Man, really, really awesome for collecting. Really, really awesome for collecting. Yeah, anyway, so even like that Shuko there, I wouldn't necessarily go and look and say, oh, I'm going to buy a bunch of that card because, you know, in the future it's going to go up. I think it's already, at least from my perspective, showing that it's going to be tough, I think, in this game to keep the value on, I don't know, on most cards long term. You know, of course, there will be staple cards, probably, that stay through the game and are valuable for a long, long time. But there's so many cards, like so many of these big chase cards, even the regular foil, rainbow foils, gorgeous, right? Like they lose value for a couple of reasons. One is because, you know, there's only so many equipment slots in a character. And as they've shown, like Legend Story Studios doesn't shy away from printing, you know, multiple legendary equipment that fit a specific slot for a character. And, you know, eventually you can't have 2, 3, 4 legendaries in the same slot for the same character that hold a ton of value, because one of them's going to be better than the rest, or a couple of them. Ooh, extended art, Stoke the Flames. It's a common, but we do need that. Box 2 here, guys. Box 2 is helping us. And so eventually, you know, either there's too much equipment in that slot and the value's got to go down on something, or you're just, you know, competing, or, you know, with like living legend status in the way that cards rotate out in this. I mean, I think it's better, well, potentially better than the way it works in different games, but, you know, once a character is pulled out, like it can't be played anymore because it's hit the living legend status in competitive play, then you lose the ability to play some certain cards because maybe that particular legendary or fabled one, you can't actually play it with anybody else, or 2, it's just not as good with the other characters into box 2. So then, of course, you know, the value on it goes away because people don't need to hang on to it anymore because they can't play with it. And, you know, I think they're planning on having a different format or things where some of those cards can come back and be used again. But I don't know. I think it's challenging in any game, but I think it'll be challenging, particularly for Flesh and Blood, for those kind of cards to just maintain that value. Same thing too. They just print a generic equipment for a certain slot that just ends up being better or more useful than the character's equipment, and, you know, value down is difficult to hold. So at this point, I wouldn't Again, get into the collecting side of that because you really think those tiger stripe Shuko's are just gonna soar in value, and they might, but I think really for getting that kind of value, it's more of a timing the market as opposed to time in the market, unfortunately. Now, of course, if the game, if the game goes on for another 20 years, that's a different point, right? But at this point, who knows? You don't really know. Maybe it goes on for 20 years and it just doesn't grow to like a massive level like Magic. So, from my perspective, collect it because you like it more so than because you think you're going to get a bunch of money off of it, right? But yeah, in general, then thinking about, do I like it? Do I actually like the game? I think the art in this game is amazing. I think it's really good. No, like every other game, I don't think that every single card is the most beautiful thing that you've ever seen. But I think in general, this, like, if I just go with your average card, I think looking at the art on your average card in Flesh and Blood, look at that. Look at that. Just a common foil, but man, that's a good looking card. I think on an average basis, I like it better than I like Magic or other card games that I have seen. Magic's probably the other big one that I spend more time with. Oh, Uprising, another cool foil. Isn't that just cool? In the binder. I already have that one though. We already got it. Come on. Come on, James. You gave us that legendary. You gave us a Marvel. Give us a couple more off our list today. Show us that fabled. But like even these commons, like see the middle one's kind of like, it's fine. It's not bad art. But this two on the side, maybe it's just because I really like red. Red's my favorite color, and orange and fire and all that jazz. But the art is just so good. It's really good. Man, cold snap, look at that. Common foil, but like, you're not sad to have that in a binder. You are not sad at all to have that in a binder. See what I'm saying? And of course, you have to actually like the style and theme of the game, but I think if you've made it this far in the video, you like it to at least some degree, or you're not watching this video, are you? If you totally hate this art, tell me. If you totally hate this art, you totally hate the feel of it, and you're still watching the video because you're hearing me asking you this question, leave a comment. If you don't leave a comment, I don't believe you. Ha! I don't believe you at that point. Anyways, yeah, just like it's good. I think it looks really cool to have a complete foil set of these cards. And, there's lots of fun things they've done with promos too. So you got your regular cold foils, and then you've got your gold cold foils that you can hit, or not hit, but that you could win from events, or for most of us, probably just buy them. Channel the Bleak Expanse. I'm going to double check, but I think that is one. It is one we need. There we go. We got a foil Majestic that we need for our set. There we go, guys. I mean, with that little common extended art, that's 4 cards in here. 4 cards that we need for that set. I don't know, maybe we can do it. We can do it. We just need 2 cold foils, a couple more Marvels, and those Fableds. Come on. Those Fableds. Maybe, of course, the sneaky common and rare rainbow foils that we haven't checked yet. But shh, don't tell anyone about that. Wow. Going here on box 3, though, nothing big. Nothing big on box 3. So if you want to collect this game and you're going to open packs to do it, you got to be okay that there are going to be some boxes. As we've said before, the stinker boxes, they're always just around the corner, waiting to get you when your hopes get high. But, I mean, I don't know, if we get through this box and there are no cold foils, and there are no Marvels, no legendary, like nothing else. This, well, one, it'd be the worst box I think we've opened so far, but two, be ready for the next box. Oh, get ready. Only 2 packs left in box 3 here. I don't know if I just did something crazy and like missed it, but like, wow. Whoa. Maybe I gotta just chop up this box's video and say worst box ever on it. Oh, last pack. Just to say that they did it. There's the cold foil. Looks great for collecting, really cool. Not at all cool for our set collecting, because we got that, right? We probably got 3 or 4, I don't know. We are in the last box of case 9, which means that 4 boxes of cases, guys, that's 36 boxes. Do you think we can open 36 boxes and not get a Fabled of either version? Oh, I think I've been told by a couple people. One, just gotta shake it a little bit. Come on, damage it. Look, it's got some damage there, and that's a good sign. And then you just have to tell the box, right? Give us the goods. Give us the goods. Do you see that terrible box right there? I'm not doing that again. Give us the goods. And then my advice always is just complaining, right? Now, I don't actually endorse complaining in life. If you were in a place in life where you're opening cards like this and you're just thinking about, should I collect them or not, right? You got nothing. Life is good, right? At that point. But in the spirit of having fun, you know, we are going to say, come on, packs. Look at this. Nothing in box 3. Nothing here at the beginning of box 4. We need that Fable. We need something big. If you're not going to give us the Fable, just give us something that's worth enough money that we can buy another box or another case to try this whole little roller again. Come on, Quelling Slippers. Well, let's move on from that though. Get back to talking about collecting. You know, another fun thing. I guess you can determine if you think this is fun or not. But Flesh and Blood has a lot of cool promos that you can get. I think they've done a pretty good job with those now. And so those, you get a wide range of rainbow foils, cold foils, different pieces, which, I mean, a lot of times, most of your characters are promos. Their weapons, the token versions are promos, which is awesome, which is cool. It's really fun when you actually get those cards. But then you can't open those cards here in the packs, right? So you're never going to get a foil Dromai. You're never going to get a foil Phi. You're never going to get a foil Icelander, except the Marvel, when you're opening up these, you know, just base set packs, which is frustrating for our master set here because it makes putting it in binders and different things a little bit weird. You either got to leave spaces open for where there's just no foil for that card, or you have to, I don't know, put in a non-foil card there amongst a bunch of other foils. I don't know, it makes things kind of funky, and it makes you just miss getting that really, really cool looking foil. Those kind of Marvel we don't need. You look so cool though. Come on, you guys, you want to collect that. These are the kind of cards that you're not going to complain about collecting, I don't know, 50 of those. They just look cool. They look pretty cool. I think that's number 3 of those, potentially 4 that we have in our 9 cases. So yeah, I don't know, it's just frustrating to me from a collecting sense that you got to get certain foil cards, like, you know, old Mr. Phi here, only as a promo. I would prefer that it's in the set and they did like a different, you know, even just a rainbow foil in the set, and then you get a different version as a promo, cold foil, whatever. But maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. And it does make it special though. it definitely does make it special when you do get them. And of course, it's really a good push for organized play, which Flesh and Blood is all about, getting people to play in the Flesh and Blood and collect in the Flesh and Blood, I guess, or get someone else to go out and collect it for you. Insidious Chill, that, ladies and gentlemen, is our second foil Majestic that we need for our set. So look at that, we hit two of them in this case. That's exactly what we need. Exactly what we need from that slot. But man, oh, this is rough. I cannot believe we've gotten this far without a Fabled. And so yeah, for collecting a character, I'm talking about, you know, character cards. If you want to get the cool, all foil, amazing, awesome coolness, jazz, whatnot, then you got to go beyond just the packs to get those promos, or else you're missing something. And another thing too, like I think you can do really cool collections with characters, and that's fun. But I will say, if you're somebody who's like, you know, I just want to collect all the wizard cards, and you're excited about getting wizard cards every time a new set comes out, not going to happen, right? Not going to happen the way they have different characters and how they try to build, you know, these draft sets. They can't fit cards for every character, you know, type in here. So here, you got wizard, you got ninja, and you got illusionist. But if you only want to collect one type of card, or one, you know, character class, and it's not one of those three, then you're out of luck. You know, you're not, you know, you just gotta wait. So that's, you know, something you can keep in mind. I don't think like a huge deal. I guess if you are only interested in one character class, maybe that's because you want to keep the cost down. And that's only going to help you keep the cost down if you don't have to get cards from every set. This is our last pack. Last pack. And it's going to be really sad. 9 cases, no Fabled. 9 cases, no Fabled. Only a Marvel in that box. Man, I mean, I'm gonna say 2 stinker boxes in a row. Like, that wasn't the worst box, but definitely not the greatest box. Yeah, I'm gonna pause and just check the value on this, but this might be the lowest value we've hit so far in a case. So yeah, this was definitely the worst case that we've opened so far. We hit about $180, like usual, not counting every single Majestic in that pile. You could add maybe $20 or $30 to that. But oof, I think that is the first time that we hit under $200 on a case out of 9 cases. Great for normal average, not great for today opening this video. Talking about collecting and everything. I will say at one point I didn't get to is this is expensive, right? This is a very expensive game to collect if you want to collect everything. Like if you want to go literally everything with all the gold foils and crazy extended arts and everything they hand out at Pro Tours and big events, like you're going to spend a lot of money. If you want to get the mats, play mats too, like it's big money. And it's, you know, even just more expensive if you buy a case like this and you don't get the value that you paid for. So keep all those things in mind as you think about collecting it. If you like collecting card games though, I think this is one of the top ones you should be looking at. Collecting it, maybe that's just starting with a class, or maybe that's starting with, you know, like an older set where some of the cards are cheaper right now. You can get lots of cool fancy legendaries for not super crazy prices. But we'll be back here with case number 10. We'd have to have like a super amazing case number 10 to actually complete our set in 10 cases, which was the crazy, very difficult challenge we were going for at the beginning. We'd have to hit both versions of that Fabled. So come back, stay tuned. It's going to be out pretty soon. And thanks for watching Master Set Madness. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe. I need a few more subscribers to keep this going. Come on, guys. Peace. Have a great day.